All right, so we're diving into something a little different this time, a deep dive requested by one of you. We've got some fascinating stuff to unpack from a spiritual teacher named Carolita. And let me tell you, prepping for this deep dive, I kind of got lost in the sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, her lecture notes, run and stop, they're deep, man. Not your typical self-help stuff. Like last night, I'm up late, coffee's wearing off, and I'm thinking, is this run and stop thing why I can't even get my sleep schedule together?
Well, you're not alone, right? I mean, who hasn't felt that tension
Yeah.
between like needing to do and wanting to just be?
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about Carolita's take on
Yeah,
this.
she's not talking about literally running and stopping, is she? It's about, the energy behind our actions.
You got it. He says we get so caught up in this doing mode.
Always striving, pushing towards the next goal.
Yeah, and that's where the ego comes in, she says.
Oh, that's a good point. It tricks us into thinking we're being productive, but are we really present?
Right. She even uses those everyday examples like eating or sleeping. I mean, even those
No, we
things.
should be like the most basic natural things.
Totally. But she says even in eating, in sleeping, we become machines.
Wow.
Isn't that wild to think we can be on autopilot even when we're like supposed to be nourishing ourselves?
Absolutely. And I think that's what she means by shifting our energy.
Hmm.
She actually defines it, saying to shift your energy is to move from the mind's agenda,
Mm-hmm.
which is usually jam-packed, by the way, to the heart's intelligence.
Oh, okay, I love that.
Right.
So it's more than just slowing down. It's about tapping into something deeper.
Totally. It's about awareness, presence.
Have you ever, like, eaten lunch at your desk, scrolling through your phone, and then realize, wait, I didn't even taste that?
Ugh. All the time. Which I guess proves her point, huh? We're so used to being on that we miss out on actually experiencing our lives.
And that's where she introduces this idea of the warrior mentality, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, because at first warrior sounds kind of, I don't know, empowering.
Right, like strong, driven, but
But she's saying it can actually hold us back
mm,
because it keeps us focused on what we lack, you know, instead of appreciating what we already have.
and she uses this analogy of an insect drawn to a light bulb. It's constantly circling, striving to reach it,
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that.
but it can never actually merge with the light.
So we're like that insect, always chasing something but never quite reaching it.
And she asks, what are we so desperately chasing in our own lives? Is it even fueled by true purpose? Or just this fear of emptiness? It's a good question to sit with, right?
Yeah, definitely. Makes you wonder if the pursuit itself is what's keeping us stuck.
It's funny, right? Because usually when we talk about self-improvement, it's all about doing more, like achieve this, get more done.
Yeah, always pushing.
But Carolita's like, hold up. She says, it is in the stopping that the true self emerges.
Oh, I like that.
Right, and she even says, it is in the silence that we hear the whispers of our soul. So it's not just about like external stillness, you know?
It's deeper than that.
It's about creating that space internally.
Exactly.
Not another thing on the to-do list, like meditate for 30 minutes. It's about those little pockets of stillness throughout the day.
And that's where she brings in this concept of suspension, which I gotta say is pretty profound when you really think about it.
Yeah, tell me more about suspension. What's Carolita's take on it?
Well, she describes it as this state of deep presence and surrender, where you let go of needing to control everything, you know? You're just present with whatever's happening.
So not emptying your mind, but changing how you relate to what's going on inside.
Yeah, exactly. She actually says, and I wrote this down because it was so good, suspension is not about achieving emptiness, but about inhabiting fullness.
The fullness of this moment exactly as it is.
Exactly.
It makes me think of that insect in the light bulb again. What if true fulfillment isn't about chasing some external light, but about recognizing the light that's already within us?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like, we already have everything we need. We just gotta, like, tune in.
That's really beautiful. And it actually connects back to something Carolita says about her own journey. She mentions in the transcript, I am still on the path of being a teacher.
I remember that.
And I thought, how often do you hear a spiritual teacher say that?
Yeah.
That they're still learning too.
It's so honest,
Yeah.
so refreshing.
Right. It makes her message even more powerful because it reminds us that self-discovery isn't a destination. It's an ongoing thing.
Speaking of journeys, you also found something about a video lecture of hers, right?
Oh, yeah. It's called In the Heart of Paradox, exploring the unity of movement and suspension.
So intriguing.
I know. It seems like it goes even deeper into how run and stop these seemingly opposite ideas are actually connected.
It's about finding that balance then.
And maybe even more importantly, realizing it's not a static balance, but more like a dance.
A constant back and forth.
Exactly. And I think that's what she means when she talks about the machinery of daily life. You ever feel stuck in that, just going through the motions?
All the time.
Right. And Carolita is inviting us to step off that hamster wheel, to question why we do the things we do.
Like, what if all this striving, this chasing after happiness, is actually taking us further away from it?
It's mind-blowing when you think about it that way.
I know, right?
Because she even asks, straight up, in the transcript, what if you already possess the very thing you seek?
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like a punch to the gut.
It makes you stop and think, what if we really do have everything we need? We just got to learn how to access it, you know?
Exactly. And I think that's the real heart of Run and Stop. It's not about reaching some perfect balance, but more about embracing the what's the word?
The messiness.
Yeah, the messiness, the back and forth, the doing A and D, the being.
And realizing that maybe the good stuff, the fulfillment, comes in those in-between spaces.
I love that. It's like learning to dance with life instead of trying to choreograph every single step.
Yes. And maybe even enjoying when we, like, trip up or go off course.
Totally.
This has been, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired.
Oh, me too. It's like a good reset button.
Totally. Like a permission slip to slow down, be present.
And to remember that, hey, the journey, I.S. the destination.
So true. Well, thank you. This was amazing. And to everyone listening, thank you for sending us down this rabbit hole with Carolita. It's been a wild ride.
It has.
We'll catch you all in our next deep dive. Peace out.